Hey, my name is Cody and I'm going to show you how to find free campsites for your RV. First off, if you didn't know this already, National Parks and Bureau of Land Management Land has this thing called dispersed camping, and all of them are completely free. Now these sites are usually just straight up boondocking, so there's usually not any hookups, but sometimes they do have things like vault toilets or water nearby. But one thing you will notice is most of them are absolutely beautiful. Most of them do allow you to stay up to 14 nights, and one thing that makes finding these campsites hard is that all of them have completely different rules, and each national park is broken up into ranger districts, so that makes it even more obscure. So I'm going to show you what tools, websites, apps that I've found that make it so much easier to find these. First, we'll check it out on the laptop. Okay, so obviously if you're traveling, you're not going to know much about the area. So what we're going to do is pull up Google Maps, and let's say we're going to Oregon. All these green areas, that's all national forest. So it's pretty obvious already where we're going to be able to find these campsites. Let's see, Mount Hood National Forest. And once you click on that and pull up the Google Maps listing, it'll show the website right here. Usually all of these national forest websites are pretty much the same format and look exactly the same because they're all on USDA.gov, so that's kind of nice. If we click recreation on the left-hand tab here, that will take us to another page where we will look for dispersed camping. Now, not all of these websites will have that option, and we'll talk about where else we can look if it's not there. See, for Mount Hood National Forest, it says camping in cabins, and then dispersed camping. And then it shows us dispersed camping areas, and this is what I was talking about here with the different ranger districts. There's Barlow, Clackamas, Hood River Ranger District. And if you click on each of these, it'll give you more details about the rules and regulations and whatnot of that specific area. Now, most of these are not campgrounds. They're literally just a pull off from an old forest road in the middle of nowhere, which I think is awesome. Much better than a packed in campground. But there are some campgrounds that don't have a lot of amenities that will show up in these national forest dispersed camping websites. So there's Badger Creek Trailhead right there, and it looks like there's a campground right there. Let's go back to our national park website, Bonnie Meadow Campground. So there's actually dispersed camping along this trailhead, and there's a campground at the trailhead. So it is kind of nice when there's campground listing, because you can click right on it and there'll be pictures from past campers. 6 separate campsites with table, great place to camp. Would help if everything wasn't loading so damn slowly. Oh, see, look, there's even a little outhouse. So I think this should be your first stop in trying to find dispersed camping. But a lot of the times, if it's not a heavily visited national forest, or for whatever reason, they don't even have a dispersed camping tab, or they'll have a tab, but it barely lists any areas. So in that case, we have a couple other options. So this website is freecampsites.net, and this has been very helpful in finding different free campsites. They also list paid and permit campsites and research, whatever that's for, but most of them are free, and not all of them are national park land. There's even some Walmarts on here, just so that people know whether or not that Walmart allows overnight stays. So we're zoomed in here on Mount Hood, and you can see tons of green icons everywhere. Those are all free campsites submitted by users of this website, which are moderated, so you know that they're not full. This is also a good way to cross-reference with the National Forest websites, just to get more information or pictures, or like if your trailer or Class B will fit. Here's one. It's just off the highway, tucked in the woods, several dispersed campsites. You can hear trucks going by on highway, but pretty quiet otherwise. And this one lists a max RV length of 25. So here's an example of one that would be very helpful to know about before heading up there. Took our 28-foot, too steep, too bumpy, no place suitable for an RV. So without reading this, you might have been in for a very rough experience. So yeah, this website has tons of listings all over the US, which include national forest land, BLM land, Walmarts, and just random properties. And there's no ads on the site besides this little donate button, so if you find it useful, give them a hand. Another great resource I found is an app called Venza Maps. This app has tons of different maps like Nat Geo, topographic, nautical, aeronautical, but so far it's really great at finding national forest motor vehicle use maps, which usually show dispersed camping sites and along what roads they are. If you just click store, search, and then type in the name of the national forest that you're looking for, and then you will look for the list button because it's easier to look through that way. And again, it's broken up into ranger districts. In the title it should say the national forest name, the ranger district, and then MVUM. All of these maps that I have found are free, so no worries there. See this one right here, Mark Twain National Forest, MVUM at 11 point. 11 points the ranger district. On the left you'll find the key, and right here it'll show you different roads that you may or may not be able to travel on depending on if you're a travel trailer or a motorhome, whatever you have. And along the roads there will be little dots. It says dispersed camping. If you go back to the map and just look for dots on the side of any road, that is where you can disperse camp. Now as far as length of stay, you have to go back to the National Forest's webpage and find the ranger district and then look up the rules that way. Or you can get a hold of that ranger district and ask them directly. So again, we can cross-reference this with freecampsites.net or on USDA.gov to find whether or not those campsites are able to fit your car or your van or your RV.
So yeah, that's basically all there is to it. It does take a little bit of work, but they're free, so I think it's worth it. Like, subscribe, and if you're into vegan food, check out our playlist, We Are Vegan. Thanks for watching.